This is Rob Talbot for Boxing Social in association with Betfred. Delighted, as always, to be joined by Shane McGUIGAN. We're a few days removed from Fight Camp Week 2. All right, Shane?
Yeah, good, thanks, Rob, mate. Did you enjoy it?
It was wonderful, mate. Nice change of pace.
Of your own home, for once.
Yeah, thanks for that, mate. It was great. As I've just mentioned, we're a couple of days removed from Fight Camp. Let's start off with your first charge on the bill. Chris BILLAM-SMITH, successful defence of his Commonwealth Cruiserweight title. Looked really good against Nathan Fowler in a second round stoppage.
Yeah, Chris looked good. You know, he came out fast and strong. Yeah, I thought we were going to see a little bit more from Thorley, to be honest. I thought, you know, with his amateur credentials and, you know, with Gary Lockett behind him, I just thought, you know, he would have been a little bit. He was also sparring into McGUIGAN. I thought, you know, he would have given us a little bit more, but don't know whether it was the occasion or whether it was Chris coming out so fast. It almost looked like he was trying to like warm into the fight. And you know, Chris is a really fast cruiserweight. He started really quick, came out the blocks, and stamped his authority within the first minute. And I think you could just see Thorley going into his shell. He had a little go at the end, but that just opened him up for a peach of a counter. And I think, you know, someone like Chris, he's only had 43 amateur fights. He's had now, you know, 12 pro fights, I think it is. So you know, he's 11 wins, 10 knockouts, but he's progressing all the time, and you know, he's learning on the job still. So I'm happy. I'm happy that he went out there, and him and Nancy both went out there and put on a statement, got stoppage wins. And we're not here to fiddle through. It's like, you know, this stage of both of their careers, they need to go out there and impress and build a fan base, and they've done that. Do you know what I mean?
I spoke to Chris a short while ago, and he said to me that he'd anticipated more from Nathan Fowler in the early rounds, and he said that he'd gone into it because of the heat and everything, expecting to maybe let Nathan Fowler come into the fight and then take over as it went on. But he said that once he got into the ring, he set about Nathan Fowler and kind of went through it there. What does that say about Chris's mentality and where he is at his career, that he's able to make those kind of adjustments in his mind on the fly?
Yeah, I mean, I just think he's, you know, he's just got like a no messing around, straight to business approach. You know what I mean? And I think like he understood. Like, look, trust me, it was very warm on Friday, as everyone knows. But you know, underneath the lights as well, it was even warmer. And the two of them are 14.5 stone big lumps. I mean, we got put on the show straight off the bat. I mean, we were joking because Fowler was going to be on Chris's undercard. We were joking about that the whole week, and then a couple of days before, so I know the cruiserweights are on first. So that was a bit of a that was a bit of a change for us. I mean, I thought they would have put the Commonwealth title fight on the fight before, but as it worked out well. Do you know what I mean? Chris got him out of there early on, and yeah, just no messing about, straight in on him. And you know, like, I felt a bit sorry for Fowler because he didn't really get going, and that was his big opportunity. I hope he gets another one again. I mean, you know, Chris can make people look bad. So, you know, he's because he is quick, he's powerful, and he's sharp. And I think a lot of people underestimate his power. And you see on Friday, like, you know, he's got power in even shots up close. He's got power at distance. He can time you coming in. So he's just developing into a really, really good all-round fighter. And I think one of the best attributes he has is a very level head, calm mindset. Oh, sorry. Can you hear me? Sorry, my bad. Got a call. Yeah, he's got a level head. Yeah, he's got a calm approach, and you know, he's improving all the time. So I'm happy.
It seems like we'll always hark back to this as it's such an important fight for his development. But we're 3 fights removed from the Richard Riakporhe fight now. What differences can you see in the performance on Friday night and in the performance against Craig Glover compared to that Richard Riakporhe fight?
Just a more mature approach. You know, I think he's been on the TV a lot more. Someone like Fowler, for instance, or you know, anyone that's gone through the GB, they've had the expectation, they've had the pressures on their shoulders. They've gone to the Olympics, they've boxed in front of millions on TV, and they kind of turn in pro with like, you know, that experience, not only as an international level, but also the expectation on your shoulders and performing under the lights. And I think someone like Chris, it's like, you know, we had him on Channel 5 shows, and obviously he wasn't at the stage to headline it, and he wasn't getting very, you know, he wasn't in very competitive fights. He was just building his sort of career up at the start, and you know, his first sort of acid test was against Riakporhe, and that was a pretty hard acid test. In fairness, Riakporhe just come off a McCarthy knockout win, and he'd come off you know, a few others, so he'd been on television quite a few times. So, you know, he definitely had the experience of a big show and stuff like that going into it, and you know, and Chris has just built off that. You know, he's built off that loss, and he's learned about, you know, himself, and he also knew how to pace the fight, because in the Riakporhe fight, I mean, the arena was quite warm. You know, he was in there against a big, heavy cruiserweight guy that is effectively a heavyweight, boiling himself down into the 14-4 weight. You know, him and someone like Lawrence are those big frames. You know, they've got the stature to move up to heavy. So he's in there with a big lump, and he didn't pace himself right in that fight. So just little things. Do you know what I mean? He's taken it. I feel like he's learned a massive amount. He's even since Craig Glover. I mean, I remember everyone was saying, "Oh, it was a great performance against Glover," and he watched it back. He said, "Oh, I look sloppy. I need to really tidy some stuff up." And I said, "Yeah, you do. I mean, if you want to get up to the top level, you do." And you know, he's been out sparring Marius Bradis. He's sparred predominantly Lawrence Okoli for this camp as well. So he's in there with good guys in the gym, and that's bringing him on. But it's also a lot of people who not able to learn from losses, and they're not able to learn from experiences and bring it forward. And he definitely is one of those guys that's able to do that. So, yeah.
Some shot to finish the fight, right hand. I think Chris BILLAM-SMITH is campaigning for it to be referred to as George Groves-esque. What did you make of the final shot?
I thought it was a great shot. Yeah, I thought it was a really, really good shot. Perfectly timed. You know, something that we always work on in camp: take the head off the line, get the elbow and the head to drop, and you know, drop behind the shot, and it worked at peach. I even think it's quite similar to Fowler's knockdown as well. So, you know, the two of them are, from a selfish point, from a coach, it's nice to see them taking certain shots that we're working on in camp, and being able to find them in a live fight.
So, what's next for Chris BILLAM-SMITH? Obviously, we're at this point now where 18 months ago Chris didn't have a title, and now the talk is of him boxing for the European title against Tommy McCarthy. Been some talk about that going over to Belfast. Chris has said to me in his interview that he'd be more than happy to go there. Is that going to be the plan now, or all of your eggs?
I don't think we'll go to Belfast for it. I mean, I just don't think. I know Tommy McCarthy. I know him from the amateurs. He's not a big draw over there. I think that fight genuinely would make sense if it was in Bournemouth. Do you know what I mean? You know, Chris has a winning mentality. I don't think Tommy McCarthy really does. Do you know what I mean? He got beaten by Matty Askins. He got beaten by he got beaten bad by Riakporhe, and I think, like, at this stage of his career, I think, you know, he's sort of rolling the dice. But you know, that's not the case with Chris. He's building up. He wants to fight for world titles, and he wants to, you know, continue to develop. So, you know, I personally think it could probably go on the back of a big show, or it could go as a headline in someone like Bournemouth. But, you know, we're not going to get hung up on, you know, I know that I've seen that Richard Riakporhe has written to the European Union, so the EU, about his position as he wants to box for the European title and stuff like that. So, yeah, there's plenty of fights out there for Chris at the moment. I think we just need to continue to develop, and yeah, obviously we would like the chance to, you know, get a crack at the European title, no matter whoever it's against. Do you know what I mean? So I think now it's just a patient game for him, and making sure we're still picking the right fights that he can continue to develop and just make himself, give himself the best opportunities. But yeah, so we'll see. But I don't think we're not going to go out to. I mean, look, he went out to box Craig Glover. Obviously it wasn't in Liverpool, it was in Manchester, but still it was on a. We were in the away corner. We were in the away corner against Reactpor. Finally got the home corner against Nathan Fowler. We're not going to the away corner in Belfast where just there's no need really. I mean, I don't think Tommy McCarthy couldn't sell out an arena over there. So there'd be no point unless it creates a proper atmosphere.
Final one on Chris Billam-Smith. As I mentioned, kind of 18 months ago, titleless, but I've known Chris since he's turned over with you. I think the general talk has always been with Chris. I mean, turning over with sort of half and half, well, not quite half and half, but not the stellar amateur background of an Olympian or a Team GB. The plans was always, if we can get him a title, then great, fantastic. He's there now. He's got a title. He's talking about European titles, British titles, and, potentially down the line, further afield. How rewarding is that for you as a trainer?
Yeah, really, really rewarding. Most importantly, he's a nice guy. Do you know what I mean? Someone I get on really well with, and he understands, that he appreciates like my time. He appreciates my dad's time. Same with Anthony Fowler, people like that. And I think this is a really good buzz in the gym, and it's just great to see all of the guys, bringing each other on and actually wanting the best for each other, because it's there's no animosity in the gym within fighters, and it's something I've had to deal with for years with certain other people. So it's it's good just to see everyone like Luke, George as well, and and Fowler and people like that, and Lawrence. They're all just happy for Chris. You know what I mean? So it's nice to see he's improving. I think he wants the winner of Bradis versus Dorcas next, really, and then he's gonna pick up and unify against whoever.
Lawrence.
No.
Lawrence for the WBO.
Yeah, no. Lawrence is he's got. If he ever gets that shot, we'll be happy.
Moving on to Anthony Fowler. Again, earned rave reviews really for his performance against Adam Harper. What did you make of it, pleased?
Yeah, I thought he looked very good. I mean, that's something I've seen in the gym. It's nice to see people saying that they that they think he's a changed fighter and stuff. And I think a lot of people wrote Fowler off and just said he's a bit of a one-trick pony and stuff like that. But it's something that I've seen as an amateur. His feet had slowed down a little bit as he turned into the pro. I think he was trying to set his feet, look for big shots and stuff. And really, like when you're knocking guys out that are for the first 6-8 fights or whatever against journeymen, you can pick up bad habits and stuff. So he's he understands he can't make mistakes now at this next stage of his career, because we're going to push on and continue to push on and see how far we can go. Do you know what I mean? It's very, very heavy-handed. He's massive for the weight, and I'm happy with. I was happy with his performance. I think he got a little bit. He stopped sort of at the start. He was throwing right hands and breaking the guard, and Harper had a good tight guard early on, and you could see Fowler even early on he was still able to break the guard with his power, and I think he was looking for like just that clean shot after he got the knockdown, I think, and really he should have just continued to punch through the guard and just lighten things up and thrown a little bit more shots. But yeah, I don't think someone like Adam Harper was ever going to test him, but it was still an opponent that was able to sort of give him rounds underneath, give him live rounds underneath the lights and try new stuff out. And I think that was an exercise well earned the other day. Do you know what I mean? We got that in abundance because Adam Harper was extremely tough.
He was extremely tough. I think the general thought around the fight or during the fight was potentially too tough for his own good. Obviously, we saw him go to hospital afterwards. Do you think the fight went on too long?
Yeah, far too long. Yeah, he hadn't won a round, he got dropped. I think it was the perfect time. I watched it back and I think he didn't really look like he wanted to continue after the knockdown. I think he knew, okay, I give it a go. It's a heavy knockdown that. I think it's time. But, you know, Ian John Lewis asked him if he was okay, got the count to 9 or 10, you know, and asked him if it was okay. And I remember saying to the ref, saying like, it was like a good 4 or 5 seconds extra after that count, because I think he was a little bit unsure about it. You know, and I personally think it should have been stopped then. And then, you know, I've since seen the corner work, and I just think, yeah, the fighter's always going to say that he's okay. He always wants another round, and it's up to the corner to take their role and to look after the fighter. And you know, like if someone's not in a position to win the fight, then you pull them out. You know, because there's been too many times, and you know, I've been involved in fights like the Eddie Gutnick fight with George Groves, and I've seen the guy helpless and too tough for his own good, taking far too many punches, and it makes me angry about boxing. You know, it makes me angry that it goes on too long. You know, it's a sport at the end of the day, and if and personally, if a corner's not capable of pulling their fighter out, then it's up to the referee to jump in. He did jump in. There was the next round at the end of I think it was at the end of the fifth. I think Fowler had a barrage of punches, and I think he could have stopped it then, but it was just on the bell, and you know, it was never the right. Probably in Ian John Lewis's mind, it was never quite enough punches, but you know, there was very little coming back, and it was a bit of a sickening exercise at the end to just watch it and take just this arduous beating.
Yeah, I agree. Nothing more to add there. And hopefully Adam Harper is okay and there's no lasting damage from the fight at the weekend. Back to Anthony Fowler. What's next for him? Spoke to him yesterday. Spoke about Ted Cheeseman. Cheeseman had spoken about him, obviously, on the back of that great fight against Sam Eggington. What's the plan next for Anthony Fowler?
Yeah, I mean, look, Cheeseman's a good fight. He obviously wants to Fitzgerald. I don't know what's going on with Fitzgerald. I think he's not in a. I'm not sure if he's got his license at the moment. I think there might be something going on with whether he's able to box in the foreseeable future. So we will see what the board does with it all, basically, because Ant wants to fight for a British title, but you know, it's not always the easiest fights to make at British level. You know, I remember Frampton didn't get his British title shot against Quigg. You know, so he never won a British title. Taylor never won a British title, so because Jack Catchell had it and stuff like that, and that wouldn't have got made. So sometimes you got to bypass that and go for European level. And I think, you know, I think Fowler beats Garcia. I think, you know, Garcia was flattered when he boxed Cheeseman. I don't think it was the best of Cheeseman's performances, but someone like Fowler's not going to just walk in and let him throw 3-4 punches. Do you know what I mean? I think he'll be hitting him at distance as well. So I think sometimes you've got to jump up that next level. And I think, you know, if we can't secure a Cheeseman fight, I think we'll just push on. Do you know what I mean? I want him to push on at this stage of his career, because he's in good years of his body. Do you know what I mean? He's 29. He needs to make use of them. And yeah, he's developing and learning. I believe in his abilities. So, all right. Once again, keep getting these phone calls, because we're working on a fight deal at the moment with somebody. So, which you asked me about just before this interview, and I don't think we're gonna talk much about it.
But we'll talk about it in a bit. But I do understand it's a developing situation. Final thing on all things 154 pounds, kind of in and around that weight. This Saturday, I think it is, in Tulsa, in America, Israel Madrimov, unbeaten 154-pound star of the future. Just your opinion on him, really, Shane, as somebody who I know studies a lot of boxing as you do. What do you make of Israel Madrimov?
Yeah, I think he's a very, very talented athlete. He's, you know, you can see him doing his backflips in his media workouts and stuff like that. And I think he's got very good feet and he's got very good puncher power. He's only had about 5 fights, hasn't he? Stopped them all, and yeah, they've matched him tough. So I know he's young. He doesn't look that big for the weight, but he's certainly effective at it, and I think he's definitely a bright star for the future. Golovkin-esque almost, but with slightly, obviously looks like Golovkin, but he's got a little bit quicker feet. I think he relies on his legs a little bit more. But if you actually look back at Golovkin whenever he was an amateur, he had very good legs. He slowed his feet down a little bit as he got on.
Yeah, Madrimov's kind of, I don't know, sort of unorthodox, hopping around the ring at times, isn't he? He's a very interesting fighter to watch. Final one, we've just alluded to it there. Luke Campbell versus Ryan Garcia. Now, purse bids are set for tomorrow. Spoke to Mr. Hearn this morning, and he said no deal has been made. What can you tell me, if anything?
Not a lot. Not a lot at this moment in time. So yeah, we've been speaking to Eddie over the weekend and stuff like that, and yeah, we've got to see if we can come to an agreement. If we can't, we're going to go to purse bids. So yeah, that's what some things today's going to be, having a knuckle down and try and get the best deal for Luke and make sure that, you know, he's maximising himself. So yeah.
We've just seen Jorge Linares obviously pull out of his fight with Javier Fortuna with coronavirus. I get the impression, and this isn't necessarily based on anything anybody's told me, that we're about to have another one of those WBC carousels where things kind of change quite quickly. Do you think that?
Probably. Yeah, probably. It's just, I mean, Mauricio's obviously trying to keep everyone happy, but in the meantime, you're going to upset a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? So I don't understand why Linares even got that opportunity to fight Fortuna. We were scratching our heads about that, and you know, for a while. Yeah, it was supposed to be Fortuna versus Campbell for the vacant title. One, Haney was out. He obviously got reinstated, so there was us versus Fortuna for the interim. But I know that Fortuna doesn't like the Luke Campbell fight. He also doesn't like the potential of coming over to the UK if he did have to, you know. I mean, we even agreed to go over there, but I mean, you know, we also thought it could have been a good fight to get back in the UK after the pandemic and stuff. So I think the negotiations, you know, to try and get him over, I think he just spooked him and he wanted just to fight Linares. So yeah, it's a strange one. It's a strange one. There'll probably be a shift. I don't know where it leaves everyone, to be honest. I mean, you know, I know Luke's still got the option to fight Devin Haney for the full title as well. I don't know I don't know what's going to go on there for Fortuna as well if he puts up a claim. So we shall see. I'm sure everyone in time will get a fight sorted, and we can work to fight for a world title again.
Okay, well, it is a developing situation to the point where I'm probably going to be doing an interview with Mauricio when this one goes out. So stay tuned to Boxing Social for all of the latest on the WBC lightweight title situation. But for now, Shane, always a pleasure. Understand you're off on holiday tomorrow, some much deserved, well needed rest. So enjoy that, mate. And I will catch up with you soon.
You too, mate. Enjoy. Thanks for having me as always, mate.
Thanks very much for speaking to Boxing Social, Shane.
Cheers, mate. Bye-bye.
Bye.